Hello everyone and welcome back to Railroads Online. This is our review video slash continuation from our first play. Now normally I wouldn't do a review video this early on, but I think I've learned enough about the game that I'm going to do a review. Please bear in mind this review is based on this being early access and things can and likely will change between now and the final game. Incidentally, if I can work out how to do it, in the top right hand corner there will be a little push button so you can go and have a look at our first play video if you so wish, and then come back. But anyway, on to our continuation, and as I say, our review. Now, first of all, what you'll notice from last time is Loco's been moved around and we have a second wagon here. And right now, what we're going to do is we're going to purchase some more. So you come into this menu, find our flat car, and can number it. And you'll see the number just here as you type it. And then to the left of it, you'll see the letters appear. Now, it's all uppercase, which is good because I don't have caps lock on. I'm going to do it anyway. And TWNR, so Trains with Nick, Railroad, and I click order. And there we go. And check our cash, 710. Yes, we are going to be able to do what I want. So 103. The Trains with Nick Railroad. Buy. See, that's appeared further along there. And just for good measure, 101, 102, 103. So this will be 104. Click order on that. So there we go. Now I've got a total of 5 flat cars. Unfortunately, you cannot go back in and edit this original one, which is a shame. But it is how it is, and yeah, I can live with it. What we may do is either take this lead wagon off some point and put it on the side and as a legacy, or we could demolish it when we've got a bit more funds and rebuild. But anyway, the reason I've got 5 of these flat cars will become apparent later on. What I am going to do is just set up the couplings here. So I'm going to put a pin in there, and I'm going to do the same on this one. Drag up to put a link, right click, drag down to put a pin in it, and do the same here. And this is very worthwhile setting this up ahead of time, because if you bring the train in, get them all nicely lined up, you can't get the link in. So set these up ahead of time, then all you have to do is drop your second pin in, which is no bother. Right, on to our loco. We're going to use this view, a reverser set. Fuel goes down quite quickly in this, so that's something to be aware of. I love that we can play around with the whistles on these. Fortunately, the brake and regulator are still set. You have to let go of the button before they will disengage. My goodness, this loco's overpowered. And I've just realised I've left the tank top open. I did go and put some water in this off screen, so we've got pretty much full. It's rather finicky, I will say that. Trying to line up the water tower, you've got left and right movement, up and down. Yeah, it's all rather awkward, to say. Which brings me on to my next thing about this, and that is track laying. Bring this train to a stop. Track laying is equally as awkward. Not too bad to lay in a straight line, but as you can see here, it's not all that straight, and I haven't actually laid this passing side in very straight either. Now the reason I've put this in is really because when you start the game, your loco is stuck behind this first wagon. So I've put it in so you can run around your loco around the train as you please. And if we come over to the freight yard, is where our freight depot is, again, you'll see, just put a little head shunt in the end here and allows you to reverse it. Now I put this track down here with no ballast because I think these platforms are too low when you've got ballast under the track like that. So I thought I'll slope it down, bring it down to ground level and run. Then the problem is when you go to unload, and full disclosure here, I have done one run up my track and come back. You have to use control to crouch to unload. So I may relet all that track at a later date. So with all that said, let's go back down onto our first train. In hindsight, I should have put one of these the other side. These are always so finicky, I never know whether to pull it to the left or right. That's set for straight up, that's fine. We'll go and grab that wagon, or two wagons, and we'll come and get our fifth one. Do this from in cab. There's my next issue. Even though I'd got my finger pressed, it's on reverser. If you kind of get close to it, can interact with the other settings. So, break off and give a slight squeeze on the power. And we'll reverse this train down. What we will also do is crouch down and gonna load that up with a bit more firewood. I do apologise in advance if you hear me sneeze or cough. I have got this cold that's rampant around this area of the country at the minute. I did consider waiting to post this video, but you know what, I wanted to get it out now. So I want to play this game. And thought that now, at the point I'm at, is a good time to put this video out there. Bring this down to a 3. There we go. So pull on the brakes. Go for a quick jog along here. And look at this and back down, add pin. And next thing we need to do is wind off the handbrake. Loco does have enough power to push it with the handbrake on, but in real life you'd end up with wheel flats and unnecessary stress on the engine. But brakes are a bit of squeeze of power, clear a little bit more. To take us down to the next one. I'd say the pleasure, we say, I will use the word pleasure, of driving these trains. Yeah, let the little foibles go with the controls is immense. I would have mentioned, and you will have heard me mention Derail Valley in the first video. And that brings me the same kind of pleasure. The only reason I stopped playing that game was because I felt it had some issues that needed resolving before I was ready to play again. Okay. Why aren't we ready to pull out? Let's just pull brakes. Did I release that handbrake? No. Maybe with more wagons, that is enough to hold us back. A little bit of power. Oh, the reverse is not fully in. Okay. Let's go forward. Even on this perfectly straight track, Betsy loves to rock and roll. Kind of fun to watch, unless you have a derailment, which luckily I haven't, apart from one that I chose. It happened just so I could play with the re-rail feature. But before anyone asks, no, I'm not going to recreate it on screen. Yeah, as I say, overall, my review is, if you've got the money and can afford it, give it a try. There's a lot going for this game. Look at the emotion all working on this loco. Beautiful to see. To a stop. And most importantly, although I haven't tried it yet, this game does have a functional multiplayer. And that just makes it even better. Whilst we're here, something I have been doing, personal preference, just putting a bit of groundworks under the switch bases. Right, back into our loco versus that. Off the brake. Yeah. Multiplayer would make this so much better, and I'm looking for a partner to do a multiplayer series with. I have a couple of people I'm going to be in discussions with and see what we can do. So all I can say on that is watch this space. But one thing I will return to, and I kind of got distracted, which is why I didn't cover it before, is the track laying. I'll be honest, I spent a few hours trying to build track work up to the logging camp, and I actually started again. I was that disheartened by my efforts. I thought, no, I can do way better. And well, I haven't done that much better on the second go, if I'm honest with you. Okay, want to go fully on the brake there. Am I? Oh, we might be there. Oh, we are. Excellent. Pop that pin in there. And release that brake. And we are set to go. But yeah, as you'll see, as the track work goes along, the issue I have is with this map, it gives you vague representations where places are by their name. And that is it. The terrain is kind of hard to see with this brown colour everywhere. You can't really tell the topography. And yeah, it just makes for rather awkward track laying because we have no markers we can lay down. So hopefully that will be something that will be added at some point, is the ability to place markers, just so you can kind of see where you are, where to aim for when laying tracks. Anyway, we're going to come into this view. Brakes are rolling backwards. Yes, we're slight downhill grade there, but hey ho. We are off. We're out of fuel again. That's okay. But we should have enough fire to get us up to the logging camp, and then I'll refuel. And the idea behind phase 1 of the game is effectively you can go to the logging camp, build your track, come back to the freight depot and sell your logs. Step 2, of course, would be to go to the sawmill, which I will be doing. That is plan 2. And when you get to the sawmill, there's so much more you can do. There, I'll give you a brief overview. There's our point work leading us down the freight yard. We're going to switch that point and come back, then that switch will get left alone. Something I'm going to try and do with this series is avoid what a lot of people have done, and that is build a Y between the sawmill and the logging. Because it creates point work in the middle of nowhere, so you're going along in your train, and out of nowhere, oh, points ahead. If I said it the right way, take the guesswork out. All the junctions are going to be at industries. It may mean that we duplicate some of the lines going along. There'll be a running alongside part of the way that then diverges. But I think it's better than having the wide, but that's personal preference. Get a good sense of the 300,000 trees planted on this map. Now it's worth mentioning here that this map, I can't bring up because I'm in this driving view, and if I come out it instantly jams the brakes on. Yeah, this map is the only map available at the moment, and how the game's configured, you won't be able to create your own maps. You'll only be able to lay your own tracks within those maps, which personally I think is a good idea. And as for the size of the maps, it's only 4 kilometers by 4 kilometers, I believe they said. It still feels long enough. Personally, if you want a massively long multi-hour run, you've got the likes of Run 8 out there, which you can lose hours to. This gives you the enjoyment of shorter runs, a bit more satisfaction in getting there. You can do multiple runs in one gaming session, for example. It's not the smoothest playing, but now it works. You should see I've got this massive hill here because I couldn't see at the time a better way of doing it. Hindsight, shut off here. I know we're not that far away now. Yeah, in hindsight I would have took the track down into that valley around this hill. But again, as I say, it's very hard to know that at the time. You can see we've got a bit of front work there. That's going to lead down the other side of the logging camp where you get cordwood. And cordwood is, amongst other things, what we use to fuel train. So eventually we need to build logging a firewood centre, so we can take the cordwood there and fuel our train from it. However, there is built into the game a way of cheesing it for now, even though when you put down firewood and it will say 0 logs or 0 firewood, it is possible to click on the building there and still pick up firewood for your train. Right, so brakes on, exit here, and come up here. And what we're going to do is we're going to click here, and these will start loading our trains. Now you do have to click every time to log on your train, which I prefer, rather than just click once and it keeps going back and forth until you've loaded your train, because it's more interactive rather than just sitting there for 2 minutes waiting for your train to be fully loaded and going, oh, what do I do now? Some people have said if you park, your coupling is directly in line with the train, it will load 2 wagons one after the other without you having to move it. Personally, I haven't tried that yet, mostly because I only had the 2 wagons last time I came here, but we will try it. But my reasoning for having 5 wagons on this train is because when you get access to the sawmill, by building a rail track there, and so that's those wagons loaded. Yeah, when you gain access to the sawmill, the mill pond where you drop these off is 5 wagons long. So this is the perfect train to use in there. going to use this view and zoom out because I want to be able to see when stop our train. And that tree's going to get in my way. Perfect. Up that there. Out and let's say it'll put the brakes on 100% now for us. And come along. Check again. Now, this logging camp reloads logs so quickly you can't never run out of logs. Whether they'll change that at a later date, I don't know. Hopefully they won't, because this is the starting mod basically, and yeah, if you're sat waiting around to have for these to respawn, kind of leaves you with nothing else to do. Look on that one. Yeah, as I say, it's personal preference whether you like them to load every single log. I do. I think they made the right choice there. And yeah. So the level of interactivity is there for me. So big thumbs up there. And another thumbs up to the general graphics. I mean, I think this is pretty damn good. Would I have preferred that they had a little less? Climb up here and get a good view of our train. Yeah. Would I prefer that they used a little less trees? Yeah. I mean, performance-wise, it doesn't seem to have impacted too badly. So big bonus for that. But you kind of feel like you're in the jungle sometimes. There's not a whole lot to look at. Right. Wow. Yeah, so our fire is pretty much out. Next review for that. That should have left this next train in line with that wagon, which it has. Incidentally, I want to give a shout out to your lordship on the Discord server for showing me how to make a crossover like this to line up, because the track work isn't symmetrical by nature, and how it clips together, you can only link tracks from this tail end. You cannot hold the points in the air and link from one of these ends, which is very frustrating, but he showed me a great workaround for that. So I'm very grateful to your lordship for doing that, and also for showing how to create a useful marshalling yard, which is something we will do at a later date. Just going to fill this final wagon up. As you can see, I've laid the track work there, so we can continue off down that way and possibly put in a balloon loop that will access the cordwood on the other side. Haven't finalised plans for that yet, but as you can see, this is up from the kink down near the bottom, which was made necessary by this building being at an angle. We had to think this track out. Yeah, I think you'll agree this is a lot smoother than our passing side in on the other end of the line. Two more logs on here. So, what I'm going to do here is add a Lincoln pin to the back of that wagon there. Ready for when I've done my run round manoeuvre. Anyway, that pretty much brings us to the end of this. And in conclusion, my review, I would say yes, this game, as it stands in early access, is worth the money and is worth trying out. Your mileage may vary based on what I've shown you, what others have shown you, and that's fine. Your choice, is your money at the end of the day. Early access does bring with it risk. The game may not be finished, but for me, there's enough in this game now that it's playable. That flickering is not something I've noticed before, but yeah, hopefully they can fix that. But yes, despite the occasional flickering, which may be down to my graphic settings as much as anything. But yeah, as I keep trying to say, my review is, it is a good game for early access. It is playable. I've not noticed any game breaking bugs as of yet. Track work is a little finicky. I hope they make it a bit easier to lay the tracks. I would like them to add text chat for multiplayer and some kind of waypoint markers on the map, and that you can actually physically place on the ground. Just so, for example, we could have a little marker here that the driver can look out for, know that the fifth wagon is in line. But other than that, yeah, I'm very happy with the way things are going. Happy with the roadmap as shown on their Discord, what they're planning to add into the game in the coming weeks, months, years. So with that, all that's left for me to do is say thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.